Hello and welcome! My name's Heather. I'm a registered professional counselor, and we're gonna watch Love is Blind Season 2.
It's not always happiness, it's not always like rainbows.
One good thing that my dad told me is no matter what issues you have, what disagreements you have, never go to sleep angry.
So that's something that I disagree with. I think that it is okay to go to bed angry, and it's probably recommended because when you say something out of anger or frustration, you might say something that you would regret and you can't take back what you've said. So it's probably better to actually go to sleep angry because you don't want to stay up, you're tired, you're angry, you're not thinking clearly. Have some time and space away from the conflict or the conversation from your partner, and also think about what it is you really want to say to them and how it is you really are feeling in the situation and be able to approach it the next day. I think it's more reasonable to have a crappy night's sleep than it is to say something that may permanently damage the relationship. So just something to think about, because I know that piece of advice is really popular, but honestly, it makes a lot more sense to go to bed angry, maybe lose a couple hours of sleep, than say something that might permanently damage the relationship or hurt your partner. So just a reminder that everything that I'm saying in these videos are a complete speculation. I'm not in a session with these cast members. I don't personally know them. It's not ethical to diagnose them. The purpose of these videos is to use the events from the show to be able to talk about relationship concepts, psychology theories, and also communication skills.
Mallory talked to me about a comment that was made about her ring.
I said it jokingly because I know that she wanted to go a ring, but I wasn't trying to throw shade on her. And if you're happy, she's happy, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for the both of y'all.
I just wanted to clear the air. It was just a misunderstanding then.
So it seems like the conversation about the comment Jarrette made to Mallory about the ring that Sal gave her went really well. We see that Jarrette didn't deny it. We see that Sal was very upfront about wanting to clear the air, and he brought it up and he was honest about it. So there was no defensiveness. Jarrette just said that, he was joking around. He didn't mean to disrespect Sal or their relationship. He wishes them all the best, and he reassures him that he's happy in his relationship with Ayanna. So I think that conversation went really well. It's possible that Jarrette was just joking around. I think that alcohol had a lot to play into it. Again, they probably shouldn't have these conversations with alcohol, but then it probably wouldn't be that entertaining to watch for us. It looks like they recovered really well. If they want to step it up, Jarrette could have offered to apologize to Mallory as well, but I think overall that interaction, that conversation went well. I guess I wish that this conversation would have rubbed off on Shayna and Shayna's conversation. We can definitely see the difference in approaches and the differences in how one responds to essentially being confronted about things that they've said in the past that might have rubbed someone else the wrong way.
Me and Natalie in our private conversation, I go, well, if it doesn't work out, I got a friend for you. Okay, it was joking around. I don't understand why she took that and threw it out of context and ran with it.
That's really great about the show, is that we get to see different examples of how people approach situations or conversations and how people respond. Hopefully we can take this as learning opportunities that we can also reflect on and adopt in our own lives. Before I forget, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to help support this channel. Also, a huge thank you to anyone who's ever liked my videos or who's already subscribed or who comments on my videos regularly. I love when you share your thoughts or your biggest takeaways from my videos, so make sure to comment below and I will do my best to respond to them.
This is great. This is interesting. I know.
It is, but I'm here to answer anything.
I guess my question to you, Sal, was what does your relationship history look like? Have you been in any?
Well, straight into the hard questions.
Have you ever proposed to anyone before?
Well, my longest relationship was about 2.5 years.
Not super long.
So it's definitely more in the interrogative side in terms of the meeting so far. But Sal is definitely taking it like a champ. It seems like he's very calm and very open to answering the questions. And it seems like he understands where Mallory's sister's concerns are coming from. And he's just being very open about it. So I think he's doing pretty well under the circumstances, because I've seen in other reality shows where people get like really defensive to these types of questions, especially if it's your first time meeting them. I mean, get to know them a little bit, work up to asking those questions. Again, maybe they did and they just edited it out because it's not super interesting. It's interesting to kind of hear a little bit about his dating relationships. And there's a saying that goes, the best way to predict future behaviors is to look at past behaviors. It's definitely something that I think is quite true, but I do also believe that people can change. The other thing as well is I don't really know if it would be necessarily the same in terms of one's relationship history to be able to translate into the future relationship history. I'm guessing the sister is wondering whether or not he's had long-term relationships like Mallory has, or if he's just been more so dating. Just because a person may have shorter-term relationships in the past doesn't mean that the marriage won't work. Vice versa, just because someone may have had long-term relationships doesn't mean that it's going to equate to marital success or long-term marriage. I think what's more important is how he's treated his partners in the past relationships, and also what he's learned about himself, and also the roles that he can recognize that he played into those relationships, as opposed to the duration of the relationship in the past.
So you're planning a wedding?
Yes.
When is it?
Like in 2 weeks.
Okay, you know what? What does that even mean?
So I would be curious to know what their relationship or their dynamics look like growing up, because it's almost as if her sister is taking on this caregiver role. This type of behavior is definitely something that we would see more so from a parent than it is a sister. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that this is Mallory's older sister. It would make sense as to why she's being very protective in this situation right now. And I can also see her being protective of Mallory in other situations also. So that can definitely help explain the dynamics that we're seeing right now, and the way that she is almost trying to protect Mallory from Sal, or to interrogate Sal, because she's trying to get all that information. And it's almost as if like, oh, you have to get past me in order to get to Mallory and to marry her. You need my blessing. And again, it could be because of Mallory and her sister's dynamics from before. And I'm also curious to know exactly how that all played out in their family role and with their actual parents as well. Maybe her sister got a lot of messages from her parents saying like, you have to protect Mallory and it's your job. So maybe she's taking that very seriously, and it's also translated to their adult relationship as siblings.
I mean, we just want you to be happy and happy and healthy and safe. Like, that's all we want.
You're my best friend. You are like my second mom.
Okay, there we go. And it's nice to see that they're softening up now.
The best thing that ever happened to me.
That confirms what I thought earlier, which is that, yeah, her sister was almost like a second mother to Mallory, and we see that they are definitely softening up. And that role of being the protector or the caregiver or second caregiver usually comes from a place of love and protection, right? And it might come out differently to other people, but we see that she really does care for her sister. She's wanting to make sure that she's doing it for the right reasons. She's wanting to make sure that Sal is the right guy for her. Obviously, I'm sure she just wants the absolute best for Mallory. This is her way of being able to show that she cares.
It's hard to, think about sharing like someone that you love so much with other people.
I know.
It can also mean her fearing what that means to her own identity. So her identity as being like the secondary caregiver or the secondary mother to Mallory or the protector of her. By Mallory changing the family dynamics and marrying someone else, that might bring up feelings of fear within herself, because now she's wondering, okay, well, what exactly is going to be my role after the marriage? And of course, these things kind of happen unconsciously, but I can also see that she might be going through some internal struggles of her identity or her role in her sister's life after the marriage.
And I'm not pressured in any decisions, and I will never be pressured into anything that I don't want to do. And I do think I'm a very good judge of character, and I do make good decisions.
And Mallory is doing a good job just trying to reassure her sister that she's thought about this situation from all angles. She's really put a lot of thought into it, and she's being authentic with her feelings, and essentially just to reassure her that, yeah, this is my decision. I believe it's the right decision, and hopefully with time you'll also see that, and you'll also accept that and understand that. And it's totally normal if Tiffany still has her reservations about this whole experience and the whole marriage. It's completely normal as well under the circumstances. She's also being very open and honest, saying that it's just going to take some time and this is just a brief interaction, and I need to get to know you more. Hopefully she can get to know him without having to try to grill him with some hard questions and actually ask questions about him. Maybe it'll also help for her to see the way that they interact together as well. And hopefully that can also help with the sister to lower those feelings of defenses or to kind of pull back the interrogation from Sal. But again, he's been doing super well. He's answered every question. He's been very open and honest, and he hasn't gotten defensive. So overall, I think this has been a great meeting. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more analysis videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, be kind and love yourself.